Welcome back to the deep dive. Today, we're looking at something, well, maybe a bit closer to home for some listeners, definitely for us. Bonnie Parker and Clyde Barrow. Infamous outlaws, right?
Absolutely legendary
But
figures.
we're focusing on a part of their story that often gets kind of pushed aside, their time running through Oklahoma.
Yeah, most people picture Texas, maybe Louisiana, the deeper South.
Exactly. But Oklahoma, it was a really significant backdrop for them, especially Northwest Oklahoma.
It really was.
Our sources today, we've got historical records, archives, local reports. They paint this fascinating picture.
A mix of hard facts and local legend.
Right. So our mission today is to dig into that. We want to separate, the documented history, the shootouts, the close calls from the stories that have grown up around them, especially in places like near Woodward.
And understand why Oklahoma became so important for them. It wasn't just random.
Yeah, for anyone interested in American crime history or even just local lore, this shows how these fleeting moments can just leave this huge mark on a community.
It's fascinating how their path shaped not just their own fate, but local memory, too. They weren't just passing through Oklahoma. It was a crucial corridor for them. For evasion, mostly.
Strategic, you're saying?
Definitely strategic. But, well, that strategy got complicated and violent pretty early on.
Okay, let's jump right into that because, yeah, their first big splash in Oklahoma wasn't a bank robbery. It was much worse.
Well, much worse.
We have to start down south, Stringtown, August 1932.
This is absolutely pivotal. August 5th, 1932. Before this date, the Barrow gang, well, they were wanted, sure.
Yeah.
Robbery, car theft.
Dangerous criminals, no doubt.
Dangerous, yes. But they hadn't killed a lawman. They hadn't crossed that line yet.
And Stringtown changed that completely.
Fundamentally, they were at a local dance, apparently.
A dance, really?
Yeah, sounds strange, but they were there. Deputy Sheriff Eugene C. Moore and another officer approached them. And it wasn't for a major crime, initially.
What was it then?
Illegally consuming alcohol, believe it or not. Public drinking during Prohibition times.
Wow. And from that,
It exploded. Clyde and his group reacted violently. Shots fired.
Yeah.
Deputy Moore was killed.
that's a massive escalation, just like that.
Instantaneous. And it marks the first time the gang killed a law enforcement officer.
So this puts Oklahoma authorities on immediate high alert. They're not just chasing robbers anymore.
Exactly. They're hunting cop killers.
Mm-hmm.
This single event in Stringtown instantly changes their status. They go from wanted criminals
Right.
to essentially public enemies number one.
Enemies of the state, really, a top priority for everyone.
Absolutely. Federal attention ramps up. State police.
Uh-huh.
Everyone. The political pressure, especially within Oklahoma, becomes immense. Find these people. Stop them.
And Oklahoma is now tagged as the place where they became killers of lawmen.
Precisely. Every sheriff, every deputy across the state is now actively looking mobilized. That southeastern part of Oklahoma, suddenly extremely hot for them.
Which logically pushes them elsewhere, right? If the southeast is too hot, you need to move.
You have to. And where do you go when you need to disappear, when you need escape routes?
Somewhere remote, fewer people, open roads.
Northwest Oklahoma. That's the key strategic shift people often miss.
Ah, okay. So moving towards Enid, towards Woodward, that wasn't just aimless wandering.
No, it was calculated. Survival. They needed roads they could drive fast on, stay ahead of posses.
And proximity to borders, like the Texas Panhandle.
Exactly. Easy to slip across state lines, confuse jurisdictions. Northwest Oklahoma offered that kind of buffer zone, that essential space.
Okay, so this brings us to the Northwest footprint. And here, the stories seem less about, deadly shootouts like Stringtown and more about close calls, near misses that really stuck in people's minds.
It's a good way to put it. These incidents fueled local fear, but also a kind of dark fascination.
Let's talk Enid, September 1933. What happened there?
Right, so the gang pulls into a filling station in Enid. Try to picture it. Depression-era, rural Oklahoma. This fancy car, probably dusty, pulls up.
Likely stolen.
Almost certainly stolen. And the people inside, they don't look like locals stopping for gas. They look armed, visibly armed.
Like they weren't trying to blend in at all?
Not really. Or maybe they just couldn't help it. We're talking machine guns, sawed-off shotguns, things that scream professional criminal
Yeah, that would raise eyebrows.
immediately.
Oh.
Someone got suspicious, alerted the local law. They responded fast.
But Bonnie and Clyde were famous for their getaways.
Masters of it. They managed to escape, but it was apparently a very narrow skill.
And the effect on Enid.
Terror, for sure.
Yeah.
The realization that these notorious killers were right there, but also that weird fascination. They'd been close to these almost mythical figures. It really fed the local legend machine.
Okay, and then further northwest, closer to Woodward, the Drummond Flats Incident, also 33.
Yes, this one is great because it really grounds the legend in a specific place and in, well, mechanical failure.
What happened? Car trouble.
Exactly. Reports say they were speeding along, again, likely in a stolen V8 Ford, and they got stuck. Either broke down or got bogged down in the mud or soft soil near Drummond Flats.
Oh, wow. Stuck. That's vulnerable.
Extremely. And this is where history meets local lore head on. They're stranded, desperate to get away.
So what did they do?
The story goes, they flagged down or simply took over a local vehicle, commandeered it.
You, just some local person driving by.
Likely a farmer or rancher. Someone who suddenly found themselves face to face with America's most wanted. Imagine that.
Terrifying. And they just took the car.
Allegedly, yes. Abandoned their stuck car, took the local's vehicle, and vanished. But they left behind a story. A terrified eyewitness who became an instant part of Woodward area history.
That really cements their presence in the local consciousness, doesn't it? It's not just a story about them passing through. It's about them directly impacting a local person's life.
Precisely. It becomes our story, not just their story.
So we've got the documented violence of Stringtown, the near misses in Enid, the stuck car near Woodward. But looking back now, almost a century later, it feels like the folklore, the stories people tell are just as powerful, maybe more so.
Well, absolutely. And that raises a really interesting point. How much of their enduring fame comes from the official record, the police reports, versus these passed down tales.
The whispers and anecdotes.
Yeah, the folklore is vital. It kind of humanizes them in a strange way, even as criminals, and it lets communities, small towns, claim a piece of the legend.
We hear all sorts of local stories, right? Sources mention tales of them stopping at remote farms for water, maybe grabbing some food.
Or paying for gas with silver dollars, which sounds odd, maybe memorable. Things that make them stand out.
Whether those details are strictly true or not.
It almost doesn't matter for the folklore, does it? It paints this picture. Outlaws, but with these strange, memorable quirks. Yeah. Every little back road, every old gas station near where they might have been suddenly feels significant.
My granddad saw them drive past here once, that kind of thing.
Exactly. Yeah. It's collective memory building on itself. Fact and fiction blurring together until the legend feels more real than the history sometimes.
Which makes the modern efforts in Oklahoma to kind of sift through all this even more interesting. They're not just letting the legend be, they're actively trying to verify things.
Yes, and that's crucial. They're investing in preserving and understanding this history, warts and all.
Let's talk about that preservation. Near Woodward, where these legends are so strong, the Drummond Museum is playing a role.
It is, yeah. The Drummond Home Place and Ranch Museum, right there near the Flats area, they have an exhibit, I believe it's called Robbers, Thieves, and Murders.
Catchy title.
Very. And it leans into that local outlaw history. Bank robberies, local bad guys, and of course, Bonnie and Clyde get special attention. The stuck car, the commandeered vehicle, it's part of the exhibit. They know it's a draw.
Connecting the local site to the national legend.
Right. But maybe even more exciting is the forensic angle you mentioned earlier.
Yes, the purse. Tell us about that.
So there's this collaboration happening. The National Cowboy and Western Heritage Museum working with the Forensic Science Institute at the University of Central Oklahoma.
Using modern science on old history.
Exactly. They're analyzing a purse, specific purse, that is believed to have belonged to Bonnie Parker herself.
Wow. How do you even begin to authenticate something like that after, 90 years?
It's incredibly challenging. You're dealing with time, degradation. You're not going to find a perfect fingerprint.
So what are they looking for?
Trace evidence, microscopic stuff, maybe tiny fibers from clothing she wore trapped in the lining. Perhaps trace DNA, though that's a long shot given the age and handling.
Could they match soil samples? If she dropped it, maybe.
Possibly. Soil analysis could potentially link it to known locations the gang frequented, or maybe residue analysis traces of cosmetics from the period, or even gunpowder residue or specific oils if she handled weapons near it.
So tiny clues to build a bigger picture.
It's about establishing a scientific link, however small, between the object and the person, or at least the time and place, moving it from maybe Bonnie's purse to something with verifiable ties.
That's fascinating. It connects the kind of glamorous myth back to the gritty reality using science.
It grounds the legend in something tangible, potentially.
So pulling it all together then, Bonnie and Clyde's time in Oklahoma, it's this mix, isn't it?
A really rich tapestry, yeah.
They arrive violently in Stringtown, escalating everything. Then they strategically use the Northwest, places like Enid and Woodward, for cover and escape.
creating these moments of high drama and local terror along the way.
And leaving behind this legacy that's part documented fact, part police chases, and a huge part local storytelling and folklore.
That's the essence of it. Oklahoma was pivotal. It changed the game for them after Stringtown, making the hunt national. And Northwest Oklahoma specifically became their crucial escape hatch, but also kind of the breeding ground for so much of their enduring legend.
So here's the final thought for you listening. Think about it. How much of Bonnie and Clyde's fame, the reason we still talk about them, comes from the actual history books, the facts, the evidence, like that purse?
Versus how much is built on the stories. The collective imagination of these small towns may be needing or wanting to claim a connection to something famous, even infamous.
It's that mix of history and myth that keeps them alive, isn't it? Almost 100 years on. If you find these kinds of deep dives into local history fascinating, the Hitty stories right here around Woodward,
Like this look at Bonnie and Clyde's time here.
then you really need to be getting our newsletter. Seriously, head over to woodwardshoutouts.com.
That's woodwardshoutouts.com.
Sign up and you'll get stories like this, community events, all the local stuff right in your inbox. Don't miss out.
Subscribe. You won't regret it.
We'll catch you on the next deep dive.